What to do if he isn't interested in sex. Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be talking about what to do if he is not interested in sex. Did you know that in 25 to 30% of relationships, it's the women who want more sex than the men? So this is a common issue. We always tend to think about it as, oh, it's always the man that wants more sex, and it's always, why doesn't she want to have more sex? Well, in upwards of almost 30% of relationships, it's the woman saying, how come he is not interested in sex? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. But before we do that, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Doing so greatly helps me get this information out to those who need it. It is a reality of YouTube that recommended videos is the fastest way to grow, and when YouTube doesn't recommend your videos, nobody sees them. So the more that you like a video and share it, the more likely it is to get recommended. So please do so, and I greatly appreciate it. Hey everybody, I am Kevin Anthony, and I am a certified sexologist, Tantra Counselor, NLP Practitioner, and sex, love, and relationship coach. And for over a decade, I have been helping men, women, and couples have the relationship of their dreams and the best sex of their lives. Okay, so if he isn't interested in sex, why is that? What are some of the things that we could look for and possibly fix in order to get him more interested in sex? All right, number one, look for physical issues. There can be quite a few health issues that affect a man's ability to achieve an erection, maintain an erection, and even last long enough to have sex. And so as a man, we put a lot of energy behind, like, you know, we're not really a man if we can't get an erection, or if we, you know, can't last long enough to satisfy our woman. And so when health things get in the way, that can cause us to lose interest in sex. So you want to look for health-related issues, things like cardiovascular disease that could be a problem, maybe some side effects from surgeries that you may have had. You want to look for, you know, is he suffering from erectile dysfunction? I mean, that is a health issue. There could be underlying health issues under the ED, but the ED itself could be its own issue, and that's something that could make a man lose interest in sex. Low testosterone, that is another one. So, you know, this is a huge problem in society today. The science is really clearly showing us that there's been a huge drop in testosterone levels. There are numerous reasons for that I won't go into in this video. I've talked about it in other videos and other podcasts, but it is something that you would want to check. So if he's like, hey, I just don't really have any interest in sex, you know, going to your doctor and having a hormone panel done might be something that could be helpful. Number two, you want to look for medications that are potentially destroying his libido. There are multiple medications out there, antidepressants and other medications that can have a serious detrimental impact on a man's libido. And a lot of times people aren't really told that this is a side effect. And so, you know, a man will start taking a particular medication. He won't really notice at first, you know, that his libido is, you know, kind of slowly going away, you know, until she says something. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just, well, you know, and you'll come up with all kinds of excuses. And she'll, of course, take it personally, thinking that he's just not interested in me anymore, or, you know, maybe he's having an affair or something like that. But the reality is that simply going to your doctor and saying, hey, doc, you know, I've noticed that since I've been on this medication, I don't have any libido anymore, and that's causing a problem in my relationship. Is there a way that we can adjust the dosage, or maybe switch me to a different one? Is there a way I could get off of it altogether so I can get my sex life back again? Number three, is he overly stressed? Stress can really be a boner killer. And of course, if he can't achieve an erection, then he's not likely going to be interested in having sex. So look at, you know, what's going on in his life. Is he really stressed about something? Is there financial stress? Is there work stress? Is there relationship stress? Because that could be a big one too. See if you can pinpoint, is there some area of life that is causing an undue excess amount of stress in his life, and then see if you can figure out ways to try to reduce that stress. Number 4 is what is in the way. Now this one sounds a little bit more generic, but there can be a ton of things that get in the way. There could be poor, marital relations. So in other words, you're just not getting along well in your relationship, and whether you're married or just dating or whatever label you put on your relationship. If the relationship isn't going well, that could potentially cause him to lose interest. And so a question you always want to ask is like, all right, we started with the physical things. So he's gone to the doctor. He's checked all that stuff out. The doctor's given him a clean bill of health. He's not on any medications. What is going on then? Why doesn't he have a sex drive? The next question is, what is in the way? And sometimes it might take working with a coach, working with a therapist, having some really open and honest, heartfelt discussions with each other about what might be in the way. But you got to try to dig down and figure out what is in the way. Number 5 is somebody having sex outside of the relationship. So there is a possibility that he is maybe getting his needs met elsewhere, and that's why he's not feeling the need to have them met in your relationship. Hopefully that is not the case, but it is a possibility, so it is something worth looking into. Now, I don't suggest that you do kind of shady things and spy on him and all of that, but you might want to just open your eyes for obvious signs, and you might want to have some, again, really deep, open, heartfelt conversations. If your goal is to rekindle that sexual passion between you and you still love this person, you still want that to happen, don't go into accusatory mode and really break down the relationship. Just try to find out what's not working and why, and get everything back on course. Number 6 is there excessive porn use. This could definitely be a problem. If there's excessive porn use and he's putting all of his sexual energy into porn, that could potentially be destroying his libido in the relationship. So as we know, porn is extremely exaggerated. Most women don't look like, porn actresses. Most women don't want to do the things that porn actresses do. So men can get fixated on, the way this woman looks, the way she performs with the outrageous fake boobs and the, whatever else it is. And then they look at their real life and they go, it's not so appealing anymore. So excessive porn use can create that, where they will actually lose the attraction and the desire to have sex with their real life partner. And that can be a real problem. So that's something that you want to look for. Number 7, how are you showing up in the relationship? Now, technically, this could have been put under what's in the way, but I wanted it to be its own separate item here to kind of just emphasize the point. If you are in a relationship and you're nagging all the time, you're complaining all the time, you're just giving him a general hard time, you're not appreciating him, you're not showing up as a quality partner, at some point he's just going to lose interest. Why would he want to be intimate and have sex with somebody that basically he doesn't really like and irritates him, right? So even though the majority of the things on this list are about things that he's potentially doing or things that are happening with his physical body, it would be negligent of me not to mention the fact that you do have to look in the mirror and ask yourself some tough questions. How am I showing up in this relationship? Am I showing up in a way that encourages him to want to have sex with me? Number 8, has he just given up? This one is probably not likely an issue if you're the one wanting more sex, but I needed to talk about it anyway. In a sense that, if he wanted sex frequently and he was asking for it, initiating all the time, and you're constantly turning him down until that one rare time where you're like, okay, now I want sex, there is a potential that he will just give up and not even ask anymore. And so it seems like he doesn't want sex, when in reality he does want sex. He's just never going to initiate because he's tired of being rejected. Okay, 2 last pieces of advice that I want to talk about here that are really important when it comes to, why doesn't he want sex anymore? And the first one is, you need to have open and honest conversations about this. You need to have conversations where you are free to say anything without worrying about the other person judging you or flying off the handle or being hurt. They need to be mature conversations. If you need to use a framework like nonviolent communication or something like that, then do it. But you need to talk about these things. It is amazing to me how many couples suffer from these problems and they never have real conversations about it. They just suffer in silence and they make up all these stories in their head about what must be going on the other end, but they don't actually know because they never have a conversation about it. And the very last one is you need to be willing to support your partner in removing whatever is in the way. Don't just go, well, that's your problem, you need to solve it, come back to me once you've fixed it. Remember, a relationship is supposed to be a team. You're supposed to work together. So you need to be supporting each other. If it's a physical issue or a health issue or a medication issue, work with each other, support each other to get through that or to find ways to manage it. If it's stress, find ways to make each other's lives easier. If it's porn use, figure out, okay, what's in the way? Why do you feel the need to go towards porn rather than me, a real person who's here? Work together. And if it doesn't work with just the two of you, seek the help that you need outside of the relationship. Sex in a relationship is one of the main reasons why people get divorced and really are in unhappy relationships. So in other words, it either causes them to get divorced or they stay in an unhappy, unfulfilling relationship. There's no reason for that. There's almost always a way to fix that. So make sure that you are supporting each other, doing what it takes, and getting the help that you need. All right, I hope that you found that helpful. If you're looking for more information on how you can work with me or where my online programs are or my podcast or anything like that, just go to kevinandceline.com/link in bio. That link is in the description. It will take you to a portal, basically my link tree, where you've got access to everything in my ecosystem.